Today we're taking a look at a teeny tiny lightsaber. This is Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious himself. Let's get at it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Collector's Outpost. I am John. So today we're taking a look at a character that has been around for like ever. This is Emperor Palpatine or Darth Sidious or whatever you want to refer to him as. But he's been around scaring my butt since I was a kid. Personally, this has never been my favorite lightsaber, and I think the first time we saw it was in the prequel movies, because he never had a lightsaber in the original 3 movies. He just shot sparks and everything out of his hand and just like electrocuted everybody. But when this lightsaber showed up, it was small. It just wasn't what I was expecting from him. It was very polished and shiny and kind of chromy looking. And then years later, I finally got a good look at the lightsaber. It wasn't my favorite of all lightsabers, but it's really cool to have it as part of your lightsaber collection. If you're collecting all of the prequels or, you know, the originals, whatever it is that you want a full collection of, this has to be part of it because he's been here since the beginning. Now, this is actually the Disney handbook of lightsaber collections, and I find it not to be completely accurate on everything. So, you know, I'm gonna take this with a grain of salt. Because right now, I even notice just a slight difference in color variation versus the 89 sabers that we're gonna take a look at. The Sith Lord Darth Sidious is one of the most powerful Force users in the history of the galaxy, but he prefers manipulation over combat. Few suspect that Palpatine, Supreme Chancellor of the Republic and former Senate from Naboo, would orchestrate the Clone Wars and lead the Jedi to their doom. Now, what that means is he was a bad dude. Now, I am really interested in taking a deeper look into this 89 sabers from CCSabers for another reason too, is that this has a small little crystal chamber in it, and I absolutely love when they come with these crystals inside of them. Even though, again, you know, I put them on the shelves after this, they become display pieces, but it's really cool if you're just, you know, hanging out with one of your friends, you open it up and there's a really cool crystal in there. Now, before we dig into this, if you are new here, thanks so much for stopping by and checking out this lightsaber and hanging out. Please drop down and hit the like, subscribe, and notification button-y things down over there so you can get notified of new lightsabers when they come in and 6-scale figures when I'm reviewing those as well. And if you are a returning viewer, thanks so much for hanging out. Let's get on into this unboxing. Now, the first thing I want to do is thank my friends over at CCSabers for sending this bad boy on over. I'll put a direct link and a discount code for you down in the description. All right, so let's dig in onto Darth Sidious. So we obviously have the saber itself, the hilt right here, which, you know, I gotta say is a very nicely made saber. It's got a really good weight to it. As you'll see, I don't know if you can see how good you can see it though. It is obviously a fingerprint magnet, but from the reference images from that Disney book, these are slightly different colors. Now, we do have the 2 buttons here. This is a Profi V3.9 board inside, and we'll open that on up in just a bit. Now, we also have the display blade plug, but it's not really a blade plug, it's actually a screw. So what you do is you unscrew the top here and you can pop on the display emitter cap, we'll go with. So you can have a beautiful, beautiful display piece on how it's really supposed to look. And then we also have the USB charger. We do have an Allen wrench so that we can tighten in our blade. Now, because this is super shiny, we do have these kind of fancy white gloves to deal with the lightsaber a lot. If you want to move it around, you don't want to get fingerprints on it because you just polish it up, it's good to wear these gloves. Now, this little packet here has all of these little screws here and another Allen wrench for the stand, and we'll get to that in a second because I haven't put that together yet. Then we also have the typical 89 sabers, nice suede carrying bag. That way you can put all your accessories and everything in here. Over here as well is the instructions. So these are all printed out for you. That way you know how to get to all of the settings in your Profi board. So definitely go through all of this stuff because you're really gonna wanna know how to use your board properly. It's everything from powers and blade styles. You could switch through blade styles and swap through your fonts and stuff like that. So everything is right here on these 2 printed papers. And then also included in your package is a beautiful 7/8 blade. The 7/8 blade are quite a bit brighter than the 1 inch, so it's really cool that this has a 7/8 blade. It's actually one of my favorite blades out there because it's more of a standard blade, but because it's thinner, the walls are thinner and everything, it does look a lot brighter to the eye. So I really like the 7/8 blades. However, I do not recommend dueling or anything with 7/8 blades. They will snap in half like a twig. So let's put the stand together. It's actually one of my favorite stands. I love 89sabers stands, and these are redesigned stands so that they fit in the cases better, and they just kind of fold down and come apart. The previous versions did not fold, and they were a little bit harder to store away or ship out, so they came up with this new design where you just have to put a couple of pieces together basically, and it's virtually the same exact design. It's just able to be pulled apart now. Now remember, this is just acrylic, so when you're tightening up these screws, don't over tighten it or you will strip the acrylic threading. All right, there we go, beautiful. Now we can pop that right on top there. And there we go, we got a beautiful, beautiful display. All right, so let's dig in on a little bit. Let's swap the display cap out for the blade version. All right, and how we're gonna open this is one little screw here at the bottom. So you're just gonna twist this off and just pull that bottom piece out. So immediately you will see your 18650 battery there. Right on the other side, you see your Profi board. We do have our kill switch right there, and right at top there, you can see where this whole crystal chamber section is. So let's flip this on. All right, and you'll see that green light. The green light there means that this is the Profi 3.9. And then on the front there, you'll see 2 of the lights that will light up the switches here. Now right there, you'll see the crystal chamber. So let's give a little twist. Absolutely beautiful. Sometimes it's just these simple little things like LEDs on the chassis or a simple crystal chamber section like that that just bring the chassis to life and give the saber a little bit more life when you open it up and you want to fiddle around with it. It does make it feel a little bit more real. Now, I'm always sad about it though, because you're gonna put it back in and then you're not gonna ever see it again. If you don't pull out the chassis for whatever reason. But it's a really cool feature. If you have friends over and they want to check it out, you can show them. That's a really fun conversation piece right there. So this little guy is weighing in at 1 pound, 3.4 ounces, or let me see, grams. Grams is 550 grams. 7.5 inches long. All right, let's get the blade in and give this a little run through. Looks like we have 1, 2 retention screw areas here. So let's pop this blade in. Again, this is a 7/8 blade. Hey, welcome to a whole different day. It's actually a different week, tell you the truth. I just ran into a tiny little snag with this, and I want to tell you what that was, because in case you want to get a couple of extra of these hex wrenches, Allen keys, or whatever, you really need to know what size it is. Now, here's the thing. Here's what happened. If you've been collecting lightsabers, or you've even just watched the show just for fun, you'll know that all the lightsabers pretty much come with their own little hex wrench thing. Some of them come with extra retention screws, and this also came with its own Allen key. But it was shipped with the wrong Allen key. It was shipped with the standard Allen key that pretty much come with most of the lightsabers. But I discovered one little thing, and I fixed the problem really quick. Now, the problem was that the hex wrench that it came with, the Allen key, fit all of the other 89sabers, or TXQ type style sabers and stuff like that. But it did not fit the Palpatine. And let me show you why. Everything I have from, let's say manufacturers like a TXQ or Nexus and stuff like that, 89sabers, they virtually use one of these 2 Allen keys here. Let me see if I can read the number here. The tiny one here, which usually fits the Kenobi saber here. We also have the Kestis saber over here, which usually fits this small one, which is the metric. and it is a 1.5. And then you have a larger one, which is, looks like a 2, which pretty much fits all these other lightsabers like this. If you've ever seen me use this green Allen key, this pretty much fits all of these standard TXQ stuff. This one also fits pretty much all of the Luke lightsabers I have here. And then if you grab that smaller one, that 1.5 here, that pretty much fits things like the Kenobi, and it fits our Cal Kestis, stuff like that. Now this is the small one that did come with Palpatine, and unfortunately, it is too big. So I did contact CCSabers, and I do have everything worked out here, but rather than having to wait for a whole new one to ship, I just went out and bought one of these on Amazon. I think it was like 10 or 12 bucks or something like that. It is a 32-piece set and has smaller hex wrenches than I've ever seen in my life. So the one that actually fits this is like the size of 3 human hairs. So let's pull this out and I'll tell you which one it is in case you want to pick up a couple extra for yourself if you do happen to get this. So here we are. These are some of the smallest darn things I've ever seen in my life, and everything I found in Home Depot only went down to a 1.5. So when I was talking to the guys there, I say I need something smaller. I even brought it with me, the top of the emitter, and they were like, I don't think I've actually seen an hex wrench that small. So from a 1.5, we do need to go down a little bit. Let's see which one fits the Palpatine best. It's got to be one of the sizes underneath the 1.5, obviously. So let's go to the next one down, which is a 1.3. So let's see if the 1.3 fits in the Palpatine here. Where is, all right, so the 1.3 is also still too big. Let's go down. Next one down is a 0.9. Now this is getting really ridiculous. It's so small. This is like 4 or 5 human hairs. Let's see if which one was this? This was a 0.9. All right, so 0.9, I think we got it. So that's what you're looking for, a 0.9. This is the metric side, and that seems to fit perfectly. Now, for whatever reason, I couldn't get this size at Home Depot. They basically looked at me like I was talking crazy that I needed something so small. And then I showed them the top of this thing and I told them it was for a lightsaber, and one of the guys understood. So I think he's a Star Wars fan. All right, so here we are. These are the sizes. I mean, so this top one, that thicker one, is the one that goes into pretty much mostly all the normal TXQs and Nexus stuff. That's the same size of that green Allen wrench there. Then we got the one down, which is the 1.5, which goes into pretty much all of the other ones that are slightly smaller than the regular Nexus TXQ type ones. Then we've got this tiny one that is like 4 human hairs, and that's what's going to go into your Palpatine hilt. Now, I thought that was very important to pull up because I have well over 100 lightsabers, and I've never ever seen one use an Allen key so tiny. And I was a little shocked how small it was. All right, so let's get this on and just give this a quick test. You gotta be really careful with this because it's so thin. I don't want to strip out the retention screw, and I sure don't want to strip out this 4 hairs thick Allen key. Now, I didn't tighten it too hard, and it does seem like it's holding in there very well. So let's give this thing a go. Oh, sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were down there. I should have known. Sounds pretty good. You know, you just got to think, for something so small, it does have these couple of little slits down there for your audio venting. Got a flash on clash. Oh, blast. Oh, those are pretty nice. Got a lock up. We do have our tip drag. If you can see that. That's always pretty easy. You just face it down, hold the auxiliary button, and just give a bop at the floor. I know sometimes it's a little hard to see on camera, but I think you can see it. We got the red and the white over there. Take a look at a couple of the other sound fonts on here.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
Master Qui-Gon.
Smooth gray.
That's a pretty good sound.
A Mandalorian and a Jedi? They'll never see it coming.
I'm a Jedi. Like
My father before me. Now, we do have twist on and twist off. We can change the colors very easily by holding auxiliary and hit power, auxiliary, power, and then you just give a twist. And then we can just hit power to set that in. Now you can even change the blade style on here. What you're gonna do is just hold the auxiliary and then click power. So now every time you do this, you do have to let both of the buttons go. So you're gonna hold auxiliary and click power for a long press. So hold and boom. All right, now you gotta let everything go, hold and boom. Let everything go. Now that's cool because you get to cycle through all of the blade styles that are actually on here. We've got this kind of flickery blade. Solid color. Got a fire blade. It's kind of a crazy fire blade, that one. But I do like that because if you are a Profi guy, I'm not particularly a Profi person. I'd much rather like a GHV3. They're just a lot easier. You do have to hook this into your computer and learn the programming and stuff like that. But if you do, you can load in a ton of different blade styles and everything, and you can at least kind of scroll through everything that you have on there. The volume is very easy to access to. You're gonna hold power and hit auxiliary, power.
Volume menu.
And then you could just turn.
Maximum volume.
Maximum
volume.
And to set,
volume.
could you shut up? And then to set it in, you just want to hit the power.
Exiting volume menu.
So this last thing I want to show you is actually a question I got from a bunch of you. Is how large is the Sidious next to the 89sabers Yoda that I have? Well, here we go. Here is the 89sabers Yoda, and they're pretty much about the same size. I mean, Palpatine's little nubbin nipple thing here kind of pokes out a little bit more, but outside of that, they're pretty much the same exact size. And no, they are not the same retention screw size. This is the 1.5 retention screw, and this was the 0.9, I believe. All right, that is about it. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. Do you have one? Do you have a different version of this? And while you're down there in the comments, please do help support the channel by hitting the like, subscribe, notification button, and share the videos out there. All right, everybody, I'll see you all in the next video. Be safe and kind out there in the world. See ya.